Special levies in strata buildings. Why are they raised? What are they raised for? We're going to talk with expert property manager Cleo. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Professor Cleo, good morning to you. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. Another beautiful Thursday.
Yeah, so we're talking about a wonderful topic, strata levies. Special levies, a bit like special fried rice. Special levies. What
I
do you
just,
reckon?
I don't know why they call them special. They should be unexpected levies or, you know,
Yeah,
levies you don't want to pay. But yeah,
yes.
no, they are
Poking,
necessary sometimes.
poke, a poke in between the eyeball levy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. With special levies, they are raised to pay for major works. Normally, a strata plan will have enough money in the sinking fund to cover general maintenance and upkeep of the building. But if there is something that needs upgrading or there is a major repair, many times the owners corporation will vote for a special levy rather than increase the quarterly levies to help raise that money. A special levy is usually for really big work, like, you know, major construction needed or fire safety upgrade.
Yeah, what does it look like when you open the envelope or email for the special levy?
As a property manager, whenever account says to me the owner's got a special levy, I die a little bit inside because I have
You
to
just go,
make that phone call.
and I think as an owner, you look at it and go, ah! And then you turn around to your partner, friend, family, go, can you believe this? Can you believe this?
It's
It's
so true.
it's the opposite to a love letter. It is like, yeah, and these amounts aren't small or conclusive either, are they? So, what do you see strata levy like? Because just to get so everyone knows, if you're not in a strata building, you'll get a levy once a quarter, which you know and you expect and which is calculated. But when you get a special levy or a unexpected levy, I'm going to call it, or a poke between the eyeball levy, what sort of money are these? Is it like $200? Is it $2,000? Is it 20?
It depends on your unit entitlement. So if you have a two bedder, a one bedder, a three bedder, the levy is raised according to that unit entitlement. So if say it's $100,000 for the work needing to be done, um, and there's 9 units, it's divided accordingly with those entitlements per lot owner. It's usually about 40, 50 grand. I've seen some levies per owner go as much as 150,000. If you're in a bigger building, of course, that portion is divided more, so your special levy is less. But if you're a small boutique block, for example, it can be a lot higher depending on the nature of the work. With a special levy as well, it shouldn't come as a surprise. Special levies are decided by the owners corporation at meetings that have been carried out throughout the year and the year before. So you have a plan or a budget of which you're going to implement things, for example, window upgrades, roof upgrades, and then you say, okay, next year, January 2025, we're going to implement 2 special levies. So at the end of the year, we can redo our garages or refix all the windows or something like that.
And people I find often blame the play the blame game. And everyone attacks the poor strata levy. I feel bad for the little old strata levy when he comes along because he's not a liked person. Um, but he's a mean, ugly, thing. But I think in the defence of the poor little strata levy that comes across, the special strata levy, I think we've got to understand as consumers that whatever you buy is going to require not just maintenance but an upgrade. No matter what you buy. So at the end of the day, some of these assets in DY were built in the 50s and 60s, some in the 40s. If you're going across to Manly, some of these were built in the 20s. Some of these buildings are 100 years old. And I think you just go along and go along and go along, and you don't realize that just mowing the lawns and vacuuming the foyer is not going to be enough over a 20 or 30 or 40-year period. So I think you've got to have your sort of your head on your shoulders about that.
100%. It's a necessity. I think people, because they pay a quarterly levy every quarter, and they think that's a lot, 1,400 a quarter, most apartments, $1,000 a quarter, and then on top of that, I know, the sentiment is, oh my God, where's all this money going? Where is this money going that I pay strata? And they think it just goes to strata and then it sits in a big fat bank account at strata and they just sit on it. But there's a lot of litigation involved as well. The levies that are special that are raised, you have 14 days to pay. You also have options to seek finance for a strata plan if they can't afford the special levies, or everyone can't afford the special levies. And I think with these new reforms, there's going to be avenues for owners who are non-financial and are struggling to get some kind of help. Maybe because they're very new, maybe they'll extend maybe superannuation into it. I don't know how it's going to work, but I know that if you can't afford the special levy, there are avenues. And just remember that special levies are implemented by the owners corporation. So if you're not going to the meetings and you're not having a say, then whatever that special levy comes in, you can't control because you haven't been there to input your feedback. So, and it is a majority vote. So out of all the owners, they all vote on a special levy or increase quarterly levies to pay for these big works.
Do you have to take a big glass of water and a gulp of air before you ring an owner to tell them about their strata levies?
I do. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, when we send the EGM and AGM minutes out, it's a very thick booklet and they don't read it. And then the special levy of $7,000 comes in and they blow up and hit the roof. I wasn't told, I'm not paying it. It's a huge, then we have to then follow the trail of when the AGM was set, when we sent the notice, when the motion was approved, how many, and it's also Strata's obligation, I feel, as well. And they must, even though we're a managing agent, they also need to communicate with the owners of each strata plan and owners corp when things like this. They usually do. Like if it's a job of $200,000 and it's being held up because three owners haven't paid their special levies, those strata managers are going to be on the phone calling the owner saying, hey guys, we're waiting to get these works approved. You haven't paid the levy, because they can't move forward without a 50% deposit on whatever it is, be it scaffolding, painting, all that stuff. The builders require deposit. So some people have to have paid the special levy to get it rolling. So yeah,
Stupid
it is
question.
difficult.
Stupid
Pardon?
question. You can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. You can drag it on. But if the majority of the owners are committed and are paying and it's going forward, you as one owner or even two, sometimes there's not much you can do about it. There is also the option, the owners corporation can decide if you can pay that levy, special levy, in installments. So 4 installments, 3 installments. If, for example, some owners are more financial in the corp, they might let the owner who's non-financial pay increments because the whole bill doesn't need to be paid. So there are options. Talk to your strata manager, talk to your property manager, and read, if anything I can say, read your EGM, AGM minutes, for things coming up so you can prepare.
As a result, do you ever have the play the long game conversation with your landlord like I do?
Not as much as you, Mark. I'm a little bit more direct to the point. I've got things to do.
So I often, and I've actually had the conversation with Lisa a couple of times on a particular property that old property that she owns. Um, we, I think it's really, really important just to remember what you got into the asset for and why you're in the asset and the intention because and how good it was to you because a lot of people forget that in the eye of the storm when they open up that strata levy email or letter and they're like screw you but um I've always said to clients and as I'll give you an example with Lisa I was like if this unit you own gave you a 1 meter long check every year and I presented the check to you and you'd sort of love this unit a bit more than what you're talking at the moment. You sort of forget. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got a one bedroom unit worth 700,000, and say it's been going up 50 grand a year the last 10 years, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. If I presented you with that check, last year and the year before, when the strata levy came yesterday, you would have gone, fair enough, like I got this big fat check every year. It's okay, but you sort of got to play the long game.
100%. And yeah, it's always usually a lot of money, and some people just don't have that kind of money lying around. So you have to prepare as an investor as well. You have to be diligent in, when you are a homeowner, property owner in a strata building, these things will come up, whether it's this year,
Yeah.
next year, the year after, there will be work you need to do there.
Oh, God, I think
I've got all
anyone's got
the
that money lying around.
Yeah, I've got all the neighbours whippersnippering at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be
Oh,
quiet
so you,
somewhere.
you're mobile. Cleo, thank you very much for sharing your Intel IP experience and wizardry with us. That was bloody awesome. And I think keep an eye out on some of this strata stuff we're going to be doing our next couple of weeks. It's probably the biggest pinch point we're finding in our industry at the moment.
It is definitely, and a lot, like you said, these buildings are starting to get to the point now where you can't ignore the maintenance. It has to be done to add value. And,
Yeah.
for owners that want to sell as well in the future, your strata plan has to look healthy and you've got to have these things in place.
Thank you, Legend. Hopefully you help people out there today. If you have a friend that has a bad strata and they're dealing with this, send them this clip. Bye.
Okay.
See you, Legend.